Alternatively, send inquiries via WhatsApp on 083 450 1802 for their latest catalogs, designs, and pricing. Exquisite banner walls, designs produced to provide clients with the best possible experience.
Are you thinking about revitalizing your bathroom or kitchen? AB is the right man for the job. From design to finish, he is a New Zealand registered plumber and certified waterproofer. Contact AB New Zealand wide on 027 4747 027 or via email abEE@extra.co.nz for a no obligation consultation. AB would love to hear from you.
DNA Cafe and Eatery in Kells River is all about Cape soul food. Come and enjoy your favorite Kom Vandaan classics from Gatsby's to Kusistas with even an Eggs Benedict in the middle. For more info, contact us on www.dnacafe.co.za.
Whether you like it light and sweet, or perhaps even dark and bitter, Jude's Rhyming Coffee Grind is the perfect java to kickstart your day. For every purchase made, they will donate 10 Rand to the Special Olympics team of the Western Cape. Follow them on social media, the Rhyming Grind Coffee Spot, or order now via WhatsApp on 076 682 8045. Jude's Rhyming Coffee Grind. Coffee.
You're tuning to
for a cause.
Afrikaap, the Cape Town sound.
Welcome to Afrikaap Radio Online.
24/7.
A wise man once said, "Success is not final. Failure is not final. It's the courage to continue that counts." This is Walk to Wellness with Elton David, right here on Afrikaap Radio.
You're tuning to Afrikaap, the Cape Town sound.
All right, good evening. Welcome. My name is Elton. I am the host of Walk to Wellness, brought to you by All My Sports SA. It's a show that happens pretty much every Thursday where we talk about tools that help us get through the week and get through life on a range of different topics. Tonight, we talk about decision making and some of the processes around it, problem solving. And I must just tell you that these are some of my concepts and some of the stuff I've researched, and not necessarily a reflection of the management of Afrikaap Radio. If you've tuned in from South Africa or around the world, welcome. We got just under 2 hours together. But invariably, people get papers and pens and get something to drink. So I'm going to allow you that opportunity while I play you a song by Michael Frank's Popsicle Toes.
And when God gave out rhythm, He sure was good to you. You can add, subtract, multiply, and divide by 2. I know today's your birthday, and I did not buy no rose, but I wrote this song instead, and I call it Popsicle Toes. Popsicle Toes. Popsicle toes are always froze. Popsicle toes. You're so brave to expose all those popsicle toes. You must have been Miss Pennsylvania with all this poker too. How come you always know your pentax when I'm in the mood? We ought to have a birthday party, and you can wear your birthday clothes. We can hit the floor and go explore those popsicle toes. You got the nicest North America this sailor ever saw. I like to feel your warm Brazil and touch your Panama or your Tierra del Fuegos. I nearly always froze. Gotta seesaw till we unclog those popsicle toes. Popsicle toes. Popsicle toes I always froze. Popsicle toes. You're so brave to expose all those popsicle toes.
Hello, my name is Dr. Mark Mordonger from the Hair Clinic. We know the loss of confidence and self-esteem a person can feel when they start losing their hair. The Hair Clinic at 10 St. Mark's Road, Wimmera has credentialed Auckland doctors and nurses experienced in hair loss treatments, providing real solutions for hair regrowth in both men and women. Go online to thehairclinic.co.nz and fill out our free online e-consult form or call 09 523 5999. Take that first step today and get your hair growing with the Hair Clinic.
Understanding that presentation is everything, Janine and her team at Exquisite Banner Walls can design for birthdays, weddings, matric farewells, and just about everything in between. Check them out on Facebook at JPECMB or their website on www.exquisitebannerwalls.co.za. Alternatively, send inquiries via WhatsApp on 083 450 1802 for their latest catalogue, designs, and pricing. Exquisite Banner Walls, designs produced to provide clients with the best possible experience. Whether you like it light and sweet, or perhaps even dark and bitter, Jude's Rhyming Coffee Ground is the perfect java to kickstart your day. For every purchase made, they will donate 10 Rand to the Special Olympics team of the Western Cape. Follow them on social media, the Rhyming Ground Coffee Spot, or order now via WhatsApp on 076 682 8045. Jude's Rhyming Coffee Grind. Coffee for a cause.
With tailored shuttle solutions, you receive efficient and reliable transport without the hassle of booking fees and downtime via an app. Their service is affordable and even better yet, woman-owned and run. They are also the preferred transport partner for Afrikaap Radio. Contact Shani Peterson either by telephone or WhatsApp on 071 314 9133. Tailored shuttle solutions for tailor-made transport services.
A wise man once said, "Success is not final. Failure is not fatal. It's the courage to continue that counts." This is Walk to Wellness with Elton David, right here on Afrikaap Radio.
Welcome to Afrikaap Radio Online.
24/7.
All right, good evening, good evening, good evening. Welkom, goeienaand, dames en heren, appels en peren. Good evening, welcome. It is a Walk to Wellness. It is Thursday. My name is Elton. I'm the host of Walk to Wellness, brought to you by All My Sports. Every week we have conversations on a range of different topics where I try and share some thoughts on tools and topics that I think we could use. You're welcome to jump on our WhatsApp line 0697145204 and tell me, join the conversation, tell me your thoughts, tell me what you think as we discuss problem solving and decision making. Because I believe that over this last week I've had a few tough decisions to make myself, but I've also been in conversation with a few people who've also had tough decisions to make this past week. So I thought I'd give you some principles and some ideas on what you could use and do to try and help you define and understand your challenge. I don't call them problems, I call them challenges, and how best we can work at finding possible solutions. So let me start by saying that, again, a problem is a challenge and not a problem, from my perspective. Because it's a challenge that we need to overcome. It's a challenge that we need to find a solution to. And it's often as a result of a misunderstanding or something that we don't know. So it's often a mystery, a puzzle, an unsettled matter, potentially a challenge, but more importantly, it's often a bit of uncertainty. So Albert Einstein once quoted and saying that if he had an hour to save the world, he'd spend 55 minutes defining the problem, and it would take him 5 minutes to fix it. Let me read that again. Albert Einstein said that if he had 1 hour, just 1 hour to fix the world, he'd spend 55 minutes of that hour, of the 60 minutes, trying to understand the problem, trying to understand the challenge, because then it would only take him 5 minutes to fix it. Does that ring true? It's like the old adage that says, listen to understand before you respond. Because often we just jump in and we listen, and before we even get to a point, we've already got the answer. So let me ask you this question. How often do you survey the landscape? How often do you make notes and say, these are the challenges, these are the problems that have occurred, these are the issues that we have, this is the history, what we have, where we come from, this is where we are currently, and this is how potentially we could solve them. So that's essentially where we're going to go tonight. We're going to look at ways of finding quick solutions. We're going to look at ways of trying to figure out how to generally unpack a problem or a challenge. Often people would say, no, 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 go to that guy or to that woman. They know how to fix a problem. No, we all have those skills. We all have the ability to fix a challenge. Like Einstein says, spend 95% of your time understanding the challenge so that you have less time to fix it. Because you don't need that much time. Because once you understand what the challenges are, it's simple to fix. You cannot work on something if you don't know what it is. You can't, if, let me use an example, if your car's making a noise, you can't replace the battery because you don't know where the noise is coming from. Or you can't replace the tire until you know that the tire is the problem. So resist the temptation to start just fixing things and hope that you're going to find it. We need to unpack and try and understand what the challenge is first. We should go after the challenge rather than attack the symptoms. Let me give you another analogy. So let's say you see blood in your hand. Do you put the plaster on the blood? Or do you put the plaster where it's bleeding? Let me repeat that. If you see blood in your hand, do you put the plaster on where the blood is? Or do you try and find out where the cut is, where the hole is? Because often that's our mistake. We wipe the blood and you put it there and you think, problem solved. 2 minutes later, the blood is back. Because all you've done, you put a plaster on a gaping wound without looking where the wound is. So we need to find ways to get to the root of the challenge. We need to ask ourselves, what are the ways to get there? And I'll give you a few tips on what you could do. These are not cast in stone. These are the thoughts that I've worked on, and most of them I use on a almost daily basis. So the first one is to understand the challenge. So what's the issue? Okay, now you understand the issue. Now you expose and debunk all the assumptions around it. So is it because X, Y, and Z? Is that an assumption, or is it a fact? And once we're able to understand those first two components, so firstly, identify what is the challenge. So let me first get through this, and I'll put an example together. Once we're able to understand the facts, we're then able to find a way to open our minds and remove the blinkers, because now we have a better understanding what the challenge is. And by doing that, we're then able to almost compartmentalize the challenge we have. Because now, before we get to that point, we have this overwhelming feeling that the whole world is coming to an end. I don't know what to do. Please, can you help me? All you need to do is sit down, write down what the challenge is, look at the obstacles, then find the facts, remove the blinkers, and then sit and look at multiple solutions to potentially solve your problem, to potentially solve the challenge. And then you look at that in its entirety and then find the best solution. That's the summary we've done. That's effectively what the 2 hours is about tonight. So we're going to unpack some of these things. Okay? So what are some of the ground rules we need to be thinking about? We need to get people to support us. We need to get people to contribute if needed, or you do it on your own. You need to find people who you can trust, people you can build on with their expertise, with their ideas, with their information, without criticism, without people wanting to jump and down your throat and say, "But I told you so," without people being there and not being able to give you the opportunities to learn. Then use the information to try and find the possible solutions. Remember that problem solving and making decisions is a creative process because you're never going to have all the solutions packed in one bag. It may be a host of 10, 12, 13 different things that you need to put together and find the best information. But in order to do that, you do need to do the research. You need to look at various scenarios in someone else's space, in somewhere else, to try and find a possible solution. Then, once you've done the research, you put it together, conceptualize it, and then potentially find a solution. If, for argument's sake, you're working in a group environment, which often is the case in the sense that you don't always have the solutions by yourself, and you therefore require help from others, outsiders. Do you follow an autocratic approach where what I say is law, or do you have a consultative approach which says, I like what you say, maybe I could use part of it? Or do you say, thanks for everything, but I'm on my own? Which approach do you use? Do you ignore it or cover it up? Do you accept the information that people give you? Do you learn from your mistakes, or do you just say, I'm going to carry on? And once you've analyzed the scenario, do you look at it and say, I will now take responsibility for my actions, irrespective of what happens? I've got to take responsibility for what I've decided to do and how I've decided to do it. How do we get to determining the facts? Because for me, that's always a tricky thing. We need to sit and do the research. We need to be able to have conversation. We need to be able to look around us, smell the roses, take a step back, see the situation from a different view, and be able to see it through the eyes of potentially the opposite section. By that I mean is, if you feel someone has offended you, do you look from their perspective and try and make a comment and review it from that side? Or is it the other way around? So in order to make the right decision, we need the facts, we need the knowledge, we need the experience, we need the analysis, and we need to be able to ensure that we have the correct information. And once we have the correct information, it's as a result of either advice, experimentation, or as a result of your own personal experience. We're going to take a short break. I'm going to play a song by Ashley Simpson, just to give you a breather.
On a Monday, I am waiting. Tuesday, I am fading. And by Wednesday, I can't sleep. Then the phone rings, I hear you, and the time you come to rescue me. Fall with you, I fall so fast. I can hardly catch my breath. I hope it lasts. Oh, seems like I can finally rest my head on something real. I like the how you can tell pieces of me. pieces of me. I am moody, messy, I get restless and it's senseless. I never seem to care. When I'm angry, listen, make me happy, submission, and you won't stop till I'm there. Fall, sometimes I fall so fast. When I hit that bottom crash, you're all I have. Oh, it seems like I can finally rest my head on something real. I like the way that feels. Oh, it's as if you know me better than I ever knew myself. I love how you can tell all the pieces, pieces, pieces of me. How do you know everything I'm about to say? Am I the obvious? And if it's written on my face, I hope it never goes away. Yeah. On a Monday, I am waiting. By Tuesday, I am fading into your arms so I can breathe. Oh, seems like I can finally rest my head on something real. I like the way that feels. Oh, it's as if you know me better than I ever knew myself. I love how you can tell. Oh, how you can tell. Oh, I love how you can tell. Pieces, pieces, pieces of me. Oh, pieces, pieces, pieces of me.
With tailored shuttle solutions, you receive efficient and reliable transport without the hassle of booking fees and downtime via an app. Their service is affordable and even better yet, woman-owned and run. They are also the preferred transport partner for Afrikaap Radio. Contact Shani Peterson either by telephone or WhatsApp on 071 314 9133. Tailored shuttle solutions for tailor-made transport services.
Hello, my name is Dr. Mark Moronga from the Hair Clinic. We know the loss of confidence and self-esteem a person can feel when they start losing their hair. The Hair Clinic at 10 St. Mark's Road, Wimmera has credentialed Auckland doctors and nurses experienced in hair loss treatments, providing real solutions for hair regrowth in both men and women. Go online to thehairclinic.co.nz and fill out our free online e-consult form or call 09 523 5999. Take that first step today and get your hair growing with the Hair Clinic.
A wise man once said, "Success is not final. Failure is not fatal. It's the courage to continue that counts." This is Walk to Wellness with Elton David, right here on Afrikaap Radio.
Welcome to Afrikaap Radio Online.
24/7.
All right, welcome back to A Walk to Wellness, brought to you by All My Sports SA. My name is Elton. I'm your host for the slot, and we tuned in all over the world. Welcome, good evening, good morning, good afternoon. A Walk to Wellness is a program where we try and share some tips and ideas on potentially how you could live your life differently. So it's a toolkit every week that we try and share on various different topics. Tonight we're talking about decision making and challenges more than problem solving. So I want to share some ideas around 8 ingredients. Some of you are cooks. I'm not one of them. I don't profess to cook. I don't like cooking. I don't like the process of cooking purely because I think it's very time consuming. But I'd wash up any day. I'd do the dishes any day. It's just something. However, I've often thought about decision making around cooking because of the process involved. So the first one is we need to focus on what's most important. You know, the ingredients we have, we want to make this the stew. In order to have the stew, we know what the end product potentially may taste and look like. But what are we actually putting in there? So we need to focus when it comes to decision making on what's the important things we need. We shouldn't be making decisions until we are ready. And how do we know that we are ready? We need to look for positive results and positive feedback on past experiences. So, what happened in the past? When I was faced with a similar scenario, what happened? What did we do? What was the negative consequences of those decisions? Then we need to try and unpack that and try and put together a series of small decisions, goals, as I like to call them. In order to get to that point, I need this in place. In order to get to this, I need that. And everyone, almost, you remember, like, what was the thing? The domino effect. You build a series of dominoes, or you place a series of dominoes, and unless the first one falls, and that one's in place, the rest won't fall. And it's like this, it's like that for decision making. We need to find the right catalyst to make it happen. We need to find the right ideas and the right principles to make things happen. And often we go off course because we jump to conclusions. We are biased in a particular way. We move in a particular direction where things aren't what we had planned. And eventually we knock our heads and we have to come back. So I've broken it down into potentially 3 different phases. 1, identify the challenge. What's caused it? Who's caused it? When? Why? How? Is it something I can control? Or is it something someone else can control? Analyze and try and understand what's caused it. Once you know what it is, then define the real problem. Find out what's causing it. Who, what, where, why, and how. And once we're able to unpack that, we then go to the second phase of trying identifying what the challenges are. What can we do to fix it? What are the obstacles that will help us not get there? Then find the best possible solution of what we need to do to get there. And invariably, once we have that, we can then plot a course to determine that these are the steps that we need to take to get us in that direction. So, what are the steps then that we need to do? And we'll unpack that in a bit. So, what are the steps? 1, do we need to understand the perceptions, the definitions, and analyze it? So, what's stopping us? What's holding us back? Is it something we can do, something we can't do? What are the alternatives? And once we are able to unpack those kinds of things, we're then able to work it into a different space. But in order to do that, those 3 need to be linked together. And so if you think about it, and I often use this analogy on the show, where you have 2 circles intersecting each other. In this case, we have 3. So you have the perception, you have decisions or definitions, and you have analysis. So those three kind of work together. And where those three intersect is where that sweet spot lies. It's where we need to find that happy space. And in order to do that, we need to be able to unpack all of these things. We need to be able to see what they are, knock on the door, and say, I want to enter. I want to be able to deal with it. But in order to deal with that, we need to have the tools, we need to have the skills to be able to get to that point. And often, many of us have the skills. We just don't understand what they are. We're just caught up in the space of not understanding it because we're so tied up by living with blinkers, where things are so black and white, or in such a space where we're unable to see a different perspective because this is how it's always been. I'm not going to change because this is how it's always been. This is my lived reality. These are the challenges I have faced. This is how I've changed. This is what I've done. And often we need to stop. Often we need to stop and see that potentially, with the help of others, there may be other ways to solve your problem. There may be other ways to deal with it. And often we get caught stuck because we don't know what to do. So what is the problem? Where is the problem? Who is the problem? What are the symptoms? And when we try and get to that, we need to look at the surface level. Is it an issue that's underlying? Is it something that's simple? Is it something that we need to discuss? Or do we just fight for it? We're going to take a short break. I'm going to play a song by The Reasons, and then we'll be back.
Not a perfect person. There's many things I wish I didn't do, but I continue learning. I never meant to do those things to you, and so I have to say before I go that I just want you to know I found a reason for me to change you I used to be. A reason to start over new. And the reason is you. I'm sorry that I hurt you. It's something I must live with every day. And all the pain I put you through, I wish that I could take it all away and be the one who catches all your tears. That's why I need you to hear. I found a reason for me to change who I used to be. A reason to start over new. And the reason is you. 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 Not a perfect person. I never meant to do those things to you. And so I have to say before I go that I just want you to know
You are tuning to Afrikaap, the Cape Town sound.
A wise man once said, "Success is not final. Fate is not fatal. It's the courage to continue that counts." This is Walk to Wellness with Elton David, right here on Afrikaap Radio.
Welcome to Afrikaap Radio Online.
24/7.
All right, I do apologize for that musical interlude. That it was called so abruptly. I needed to take that call urgently. The challenge has been resolved. To put it in tonight's conversation language, again, as an example, someone phoned. I was expecting a message for something urgent, and the person called. I rejected the call. And at that point, while I was engaging with you, I had to understand, take a step back simultaneously and think, could that be the person? Is that the reason for the call? And then the person called the second time, and I had to look at it again and say, I don't know the number, but I think it's the person. And like that very simple example, I needed to make that snap decision and go to a song. And in that same way, we need to make decisions like that. We need to understand what the challenge is. We need to look at it and say, is it? Isn't it? Can it be? Yes, it is that. So what are the steps we now need to make to get to that point? And I keep bringing it up because it's a simple process. It's a simple step where we legitimize the problem. We understand it. We need to understand how it makes us feel. We need to understand that there are obstacles in the way. Does this problem, does this challenge make us feel good about ourselves? Does it make us feel bad about ourselves? Does it make us feel indifferent? And once we're able to understand that, we can then analyze it. We can then get to a decision and a process of trying to find solutions. I'll give you another example. I sit on a board of a musical NGO, for want of a better understanding. As the brainchild of a friend of mine who's conceptualized this whole NGO process and what this NGO will do and how it's going to generate money and how it's going to generate work for musicians. I said, great. Can I serve on the board? I said, let me consider it. I said, yes. It's now been 8 months since I'm on this board. And I don't think I'm very popular right now. Because as the chairman of the board, I sent an email to the board and to my friend, who's the CEO. And I said, guys, I've now sat in this position for 4 months. I served on the board as a normal member. The chairperson resigned. You've elected me now as the chairperson. We had a strat session. We unpacked the process of where we will go, what we need to do, how we need to do it, roles and responsibilities for everybody. It has now been 3 months since that meeting. And there's yet to be one action that's taken by the CEO. So I suggest the following. A, I walk away. B, because I'm not going to be part of something that is merely a paper exercise with lots of time in meetings for no reason. B, we shut this thing down, and until there's action, we then resurrect it. 3, you have a month to deliver on the mandate that you've been given as the CEO, and then come back. And it took me time to unpack, survey the landscape, understand the personalities in the space, but also look at it and say, I'm not being paid for this. I'm wasting time on frivolous things, as I'd like to call it, because I'm wasting my time sitting in meetings for hours and hours, taking minutes for no impact. I'm not changing anybody's life other than wasting my own time and everybody else's time around the table, because we're sitting there, we're working on strategies, we're doing this, we're doing that, but the CEO is mindless, as they say in Afrikaans, vol muisneste. He's got so many things going, so many irons in the fire, that he's not able to focus on getting this thing off the ground. So, and like that, we need to be able to brainstorm. We need to be able to sit and look at it and say, where are we? What do we got? What do we have? What are the tangible things in front of us? In this case, the tangible thing was the bills. And the bills for me were piling up because in these guys' clever setup, let's call it that, they decided they must have an accounting system, they must have a internet account, they need to have a cell phone, they need to have this, they need to have that. And before we knew it, or when I got there, they were spending 10,000 Rand a month, which the CEO was funding out of his own pocket, on pie in the sky, because it was a lovely concept. It still is a lovely concept, but it hasn't gotten off the ground. So how do we then look at it? And this is my thing. I'm now tasked as the chairperson, and I have a fiduciary responsibility as part of the King Commission to be able to know that I will be held liable if that guy doesn't pay those bills. And we need to understand our roles in every situation. Because if you serve on a board, if you are a trustee, if you are on a committee, irrespective if the treasurer or the CEO or the secretary signs off on the finances, you have accepted that minutes and those financials in a meeting. That, my friend, makes you to the decisions made in that meeting. You are complicit if there is fraud. You are complicit if there's something else. So, sorry, I just went on a tangent. But the point I'm trying to make is that we need to be able to unpack the challenge. We need to be able to see it. So we need to be able to unpack the critical thing and find a safe space for it. Put it in a box. This is the challenge. Now let's find the possible solutions to get there. Whether it is a creative process, so we brainstorm, we kind of put it together in a box, we look at different options, we find solutions to this problem, and then we evaluate it. We evaluate the problem, we evaluate the decisions that we are making. We need to identify the advantages and disadvantages of what we are doing. We need to identify, is it a good idea? Is it a bad idea? And my favorite, as many of you will know, is the SWOT analysis. So we need to then look at the strengths, the weakness, opportunities, and the threats that these decisions make. Is it a good decision? Based on what? Is it a bad decision? How is it going to change things if we don't make that decision? Who is it going to impact if the decision we make right now versus the decision we make it next week, next month, next year, or in 5 minutes' time? And once we've conceptualized that and understand all of those things, we then need to start the planning process. And the planning process is one of the most challenging parts, Because now you think you have a solution or solutions. My question to you is, have you tried these on paper first? So have you plotted it out to say, if I take this job as an example, I'm going to be earning 10,000 Rand. Of the 10,000 Rand, I need to spend 2,000 Rand on petrol. I need to spend 1,000 Rand on food. I need to pay for my child to get to school because now I'm not able to do that. Is it worth it? And that's the kind of planning I'm talking about. It's about unpacking the entire process to be able to understand what it is you need. Before you even get to the implementation phase, you need to be able to say, I have this big pie, but in order to consume this pie, if I eat block A, how does it impact the rest? It's similar to that, and I think we need to just take a moment just to think of those people that have passed away in this building that's collapsed in George, where there's 7 confirmed deaths at last, I heard. And even in that construction site, or in that rubble right now, the people had to make a decision. This building's collapsed. It's a 5-story building. There's 84 people potentially underneath. Where do we start? And they didn't just go head over heels. Let's go in, let's bring a digger loader, let's start lifting the rubble and hopefully we'll get to them. No. They took time, if I understand the process, and from the people I've spoken to, they've taken the time to unpack and look at the plans of the building and see how it's collapsed, and then look at potentially how to pull it out. And they pulled out, I think, 20, 25 people injured but alive. And that's the challenge. That was the challenge. How do we get as many survivors out without causing much drama? We're going to take a short break. We're going to play you Shania Twain. You're still the one.
When I first saw you, I saw love. And the first time you touched me, I felt love. And after all this time, you're still the one I love. Yeah. Looks like we made it. Look how far we've come, my baby. We might have took the long way. We knew we'd get there someday. They said, I bet they'll never make it. But just look at us holding on. We're still together, still going strong. You're still the one I run to, the one that I belong to. You're still the one I want for life. You're still the one that I love, the only one I dream of. You're still the one I kiss goodnight. Ain't nothing better. We beat the odds together. I'm glad we didn't listen. Look at what we would be missing. They said, I bet they'll never make it. But just look at us holding on. We're still together, still going strong. You're still the one I run to, the one that I belong to. You're still the one I want for life. You're still the one that I love, we made it. Look how far we've come, my baby.
Whether you like it light and sweet, or perhaps even dark and bitter, Jude's Rhyming Coffee Ground is the perfect Java to kickstart your day. For every purchase made, they will donate 10 Rand to the Special Olympics team of the Western Cape. Follow them on social media, the Rhyming Ground Coffee Spot, or order now via WhatsApp on 076 682 8045. Jude's Rhyming Coffee Ground. Coffee for a cause. Understanding that presentation is everything, Janine and her team at Exquisite Banner Walls can design for birthdays, weddings, matric farewells, and just about everything in between. Check them out on Facebook at JPECMB or their website on www.exquisitebannerwalls.co.za. Alternatively, send inquiries via WhatsApp on 083 450 1802 for their latest catalogue, designs, and pricing. Exquisite Banner Walls, designs produced to provide clients with the best possible experience.
With tailored shuttle solutions, you receive efficient and reliable transport without the hassle of booking fees and downtime via an app. Their service is affordable and even better yet, woman-owned and run. They are also the preferred transport partner for Afrikaap Radio. Contact Shani Peterson either by telephone or WhatsApp on 071 314 9133. Tailored shuttle solutions for tailor-made transport services.
Are you thinking about revitalizing your bathroom or kitchen? AB is the right man for the job. From design to finish, he is a New Zealand registered plumber and certified waterproofer. Contact AB New Zealand wide on 027 47 47027 or via email abee@extra.co.nz for a no obligation consultation. AB would love to hear from you.
Hello, my name is Dr. Mark Moronga from the Hair Clinic. We know the loss of confidence and self-esteem a person can feel when they start losing their hair. The Hair Clinic at 10 St. Mark's Road, Remuera, has credentialed Auckland doctors and nurses experienced in hair loss treatments, providing real solutions for hair regrowth in both men and women. Go online to thehairclinic.co.nz and fill out our free online e-consult form or call 09 523 5999. Take that first step today and get your hair growing with the Hair Clinic.
Hey, my name is Jörg von Fischer from Germany, and you're listening to Afrikaap Radio.
A wise man once said, "Success is not final. Failure is not fatal. It's the courage to continue that counts." This is Walk to Wellness with Elton Davids, right here on Afrikaap Radio.
Welcome to Afrikaap Radio Online.
24/7.
All right, welcome back to A Walk to Wellness, where we have conversations on topics that help us in life's challenges, in life's lifing. Someone said to me the other day, I asked how you, they said they're lifing. Lifing is lifing. I said, I don't understand this. And effectively, they were living a life that had these challenges. So some of the challenges we face, we need to be dealing with. And if you've just tuned in, we're talking about possible problem-solving strategies. And the reason why I say possible is because these are just some of the strategies that I've employed over time to help me make decisions. And some of them work. For me, all of them work. But for some of them, may not work for you. So let me take a step back. So we need to first understand the challenge or the problem, whichever one word applies to you. I prefer the word challenge than problem. We then need to unpack and try and understand the problem. So we first need to identify it. Once we've identified it, we then need to unpack it and try and find out what's caused it. How does it make me feel? What are the obstacles for that? Then we need to do some research. As Einstein says, if he had an hour to save the world, he'd spend 55 minutes unpacking it and trying to work out a solution. Because in his head, it will only take 5 minutes to fix the problem once you know what the problem is. And I wholeheartedly support him. So now that we've got to the point where we've kind of unpacked all of these things and we've done our research, we've looked at a SWOT analysis, we kind of put them into a funnel. And in this funnel, we siphon out only the good things, only the elements that we believe will work. And in order to do that, we need to look at what's the cause. Can the solution that is being proposed, how best does it fit into the current environment? How best will it fit into the future environment? And what are the consequences? Once we're able to unpack that, we need to then look at who is going to support us in making this decision. Is it the me decision? Is it the I decision? Is it the us decision? And how does all of this fit together? So do we partly agree that this is the solution? Do we have support to make it happen? And if we have support, what kind of support? Who is there to back us if this solution fails? And if there's nobody there to back you, is it a good solution? Have you got the backing and support of someone who's there to help you? And in order to do that, we need to do some brainstorming. We think about the people who are there to support us. Why are they there? What is their purpose? What is their true motive for being there? Is it that they're there to support you unconditionally? Or are they just there because you've asked them? So define the purpose of the brainstorm. Because you need to be able to share this information with the people whom you trust. Why are you here? Why are you coming to help me? This is what I want you to do. These are the challenges that we're facing. And how do we fix them? Then be able to put that list together and unpack it. Then once we get there, we develop a strategy to get through it. It's a process called mind mapping. So if you can picture this, you put down the word. I'm looking at the AKR banner at the moment. So the AKR banner, in the center of it, it's got AKR and it's got a circle around it. So let's just use that. Let's say we're looking at the problem called AKR. Then we'd put lines there of possible challenges, a possible solution, because AKR is the challenge. We then put lines there all around that circle to say, these are the possible solutions. This is what we can do. And then once we get there, we're then able to unpack it. Let me try and bring it home. Let me use a different example. Let's say we want to adopt a dog. And for some of you, this is a real example. Because we then need to understand what's the process to adopt a dog. What kind of a dog? Do we want a neutered or let's call it a spayed dog? Do you want a male or female? What's the size of the dog? What kind of food would the dog eat? What is this going to cost? Then, once we're able to unpack all of those things, we're then able to look at it and say, I don't want a dog. Well, I want a dog for the following reasons. Once I've unpacked all of that, these are the advantages of having a dog. Potentially, I'm going to have company. Potentially, I'm going to be able to go for a walk with a dog. What's the negatives of having a dog? It's going to mess. I need to feed it. I need to spend time with it. I need to take it to the vet. I need to brush it regularly. What are the things I need to consider around this dog? Do I have enough space for it? What's it going to cost? How much food am I going to have or need? Does the dog eat leftovers or not? Because often we have leftovers. It's those kinds of things. And once we're able to unpack all of these things, and that's a simple example, and we need to be able to do this in every element of our lives. We need to be able to unpack every little aspect and see what are the opportunities, what are the challenges, what's the strengths, what's the weaknesses, and be able to do that. We're going to take a short break. I'm going to play you 2 songs. I'm going to play a song by the Cranberries, Linger, and I'll play a song by Joan Osborne called One of Us. Don't go anywhere.
It's tearing me apart. It's ruining everything. And it's hurting you. So why are you holding me back? It's not the way we stand. We are lying all the time. Was it just a game to you? But I miss it. You know I'm such a fool for you. You got me wrapped around your finger. Do you have to let it linger? Do you have to? Do you have to? Do you have to let it linger? I thought the word of you. I thought it was wrong, but I was wrong. I was wrong. If you could get by, trying not to lie, things wouldn't be so confused, and I wouldn't feel used. But you always really do. I just wanna be with you, and it's so cute. You know I'm such a fool for you. You got me wrapped around your finger. Do you have to let it linger? Do you have to? Do you have to? Do you have to let it linger? You know I'm such a fool for you. You got me wrapped around your finger. You know I'm such a fool for you. You got me wrapped around your finger. Do you have to let it linger? Do you have to? Do you have to? Do you have to let it linger? God had a name, what would it be and would you call it to his face? If you were faced with him in all his glory, what would you ask if you had just one question? And yeah, God is great. Yeah, God is good. Yeah. What if God was one of us? Just a slob like one of us. Just a stranger on the bus, trying to make his way home. If God had a face, what would it look like and would you want to see? If seeing meant that you would have to believe in things like heaven and in Jesus and the saints and all the prophets. And yeah, God is great. Yeah, God is good. Yeah. What if God was one of us? Just a slob like one of us. Just a stranger on the bus, trying to make his way home. Trying to make his way home. Back up to heaven all alone. Nobody calling on the phone, except for the Pope maybe in Rome. Yeah, God is great. Yeah, God is good. Yeah. What if God was one of us? just a slum like one of us, just a stranger on the bus, trying to make his way home. Just trying to make his way home. Like a holy rolling stone, back up to heaven all alone. Just trying to make his way home. Nobody calling on the phone, except for the Pope, maybe in Rome.
Welcome to Afrikaap Radio Online.
24/7.
A wise man once said, "Success is not final. Failure is not fatal. It's the courage to continue that counts." This is Walk to Wellness with Elton Davids, right here on Afrikaap Radio.
You're tuning to Afrikaap, the Cape Town sound.
All right, welcome back. If you've just tuned in, we unpacking the process of finding solutions. So let's just recap very quickly. So we need to understand what the problem is, how it affects us, and then try and find the cause of this problem. Once we're able to find the cause, understand the real problem, we then start and look for possible solutions on how to fix it. How do we change? What do we need to do? Where do we go? And how and what are the opportunities to change? What are the things we need to do to fix it? And find the best possible solutions. And once we're able to do that, we can then plot a course of possible solutions, of ways that potentially, because nothing is confirmed and in stone that this is going to fix it. So once we identify the problem, we potentially find the solution. We then plan and organize to implement it. And in order to implement it, comes a whole new ballgame. What are the resources we need? Do we need people? Do we need processes to help us get there? And in order to get there, what are the small decisions that we need to make to get us there? What are the simple things that's going to get us there? Like in the example of the dog, let's do the research. What are the multiple questions we have about getting a dog? What's the breed? What's it going to cost? What's the size? What's it going to eat? Who's going to feed it? Who's going to clean it? Which vet are we taking the dog to? Are we taking insurance? And all of those kinds of questions need to be asked before we decide to take a dog. Also, are we taking an older dog or a puppy? And if we take a puppy, are we taking it to be schooled? Which school? What's it going to cost? Sure. There's lots of questions, my friends. And that's the kind of detail you need to be thinking about when you make a decision. Look at all the possible options, all the possible challenges for making that decision. And then once you've decided on that, simplify it and box it and say, these are the issues around external factors for making this dog happen. The vet, the food, where do we buy it? What breed? Where are we getting it from? Those are external factors. Internal factors are basically around the household. Who's going to care for it? Who's going to wash it? Who's going to do this? Who's going to do that? And unless we're able to unpack that and give each other responsibilities and know what we are going to do in a collective position as a team, that poor dog is going to suffer. That poor dog's not going to get food. That poor dog's not going to get water. His coat is not going to get brushed. The poo is not going to be picked up. Somebody needs to take the dog for a walk. And those are the kinds of consequences that are born when we don't make those decisions. A gentleman by the name of Jack Welch, who is a great motivational speaker and a business person, says, change is what excites people because you can't stay the same. If you're growing, you have to keep going. If you're going down, you got to turn it around. If you're stagnant, you're dead. And so in the end, you've got to get people to embrace change and not be paralyzed by it. Let me read it again. Change is what excites people. You can't stay the same. If you're growing, you have to keep growing. If you're going down, you've got to turn it around. If you're stagnant, you're dead. And so, my friend, in the end, you have to get people to embrace change and not be paralyzed by it. And if one unpacks that in its entirety, we see that there's a range of different elements there. We all want new things. We all, when it comes to your birthday, when it comes to Christmas, when it comes to special occasions, and you know that you're going to get a gift, you're excited. But in the same vein, are we excited when we want to make changes in our lives? Or do we fear it? Do we embrace the challenges? Do we embrace the opportunities that change is coming? Or do we fear it and say, I'm not overly excited about change because I know that change is going to put me in a difficult space. It's going to get me into a space where I don't always want to be. It gets me into a space where I'm going to feel overwhelmed. I'm going to feel like I am drowning. And to my point earlier, who is there to throw you that rope? Who is there to help you to say, my friend, I am here in this water with you. I'm here to help you. Because change is not easy. Change is not simple. It sounds nice and rosy. Oh no, I need to change. What are you changing? Why are you changing? For whom are you changing? Are you changing because change needs to happen? There's a saying that says change and death are the two most constant things in life. Because change is inevitable in every aspect of your life. If you just take a moment and think about every little aspect of your life, the changes happen physically, mentally, socially, emotionally, financially. And the decisions we make now impact 5 minutes' time, impact 5 weeks' time, 5 years' time, 5 months' time. And that impact is the change. So, what are we changing? Why are we changing it? Because we can't remain stagnant. You know, if you're young enough like me, when you were at school, they said that mosquitoes breed in stagnant water. So we always made sure there was no buckets standing around because my grandmother used to tell us, watch out the mosquitoes, watch out the mosquitoes. So you can't be stagnant. As Jack Welch says, if you're stagnant, you are dead because you're not moving. You're not going forward, you're not going back, you're not going left, you're not going right. What is your direction? What is the process to get you into a space that you are moving? Are you moving up? Great. Why are you moving up? What's caused you to move up? How are you growing? Are you growing because of the challenges that you face, or because of the challenges that you are not facing, that you're running away from, whatever they may be? Or if you're going down, is it because of the decisions you have made and now you have to live with the consequences because you made a rush decision? But think about the consequences. And like I said earlier, there's a process to evaluate all of this. What is the challenge? How do we get there? And unless we're able to conceptualize things, we become paralyzed because we're like a deer in headlights, don't know what to do, don't know where to go, and our minds become flustered with a million different opportunities and a million different answers to a simple problem because we have so many things going through our heads without just stopping, taking a break, and breathing. And when we get to that point where we feel overwhelmed, who do you have at your side? Who do you have standing by you to support you?
When the night has come and the land is dark and the moon is the only light we'll see. No, I won't be afraid. No, I won't be afraid. Just as long as you stand by me. So darling, stand by me. Oh, stand by me. Oh, stand by me. Stand by me. If the sky that we look upon should tumble and fall, or the mountains should crumble to the sea, I won't cry, I won't cry, no, I won't shed a tear, just as long as you stand by me. And darling, stand by me, oh, stand by me, oh, stand now, stand by me, stand by me. Stand by me. Whenever you're in trouble, would you stand by me? Oh, stand by me. Whoa, stand by me.
Welcome to Afrikaap Radio Online.
24/7.
My friend, who is standing by you? Who is standing next to you? Who is holding your hand? Who is casting that rope and saying, I'm here to help you? Because often when times are tough, we need to have people around us to help us make that change, help us navigate through that difficult waters. And often the decisions we make are a threefold, one of three. One, we either have to make a strategic decision in a business space, in a personal space, that this is where we want to be based on the challenge we face right now. And once we're able to unpack that, we're able to see that with the, think about a camera, you got that long lens, and you can see far in the distance the clarity of that little flower. And that's the strategic decision we need to make. That long term we want to get there. Or we need to think of a tactical solution, because we need to arrest this problem and deal with it right here and now and get it done, because that's what the situation determines. Or we play the long game and we have an operational strategy to take it, the solution, over a range of periods and times to be able to get there. And often that's where we flutter, because we have so many different options. And unless we're able to unpack them in a simplistic way, to be able to see that these are the different steps that get us there, if we're able to unpack them and find the challenge and the excitement of the change, then we're winning. Because change for me is exciting, for the simple reason that I want to experience new things. I don't want to be bored. I don't know about you. Boredom and doing the same old things over and over and over, as Einstein says, and expecting a different result. He come, my friend. You get nowhere, you get nothing, nothing happens. Because you need to be changing. And change is inevitable in life. Like I said earlier, there's only two things in life that's constant: change and death. Everything else you can change. You can be hungry, you don't have to eat. You can be thirsty, you don't have to drink. But even in those environments, to change the challenge, you got to fix it. There's a change reaction. So what are the change reactions that you need to make to get to that point that you don't become stagnant, that you don't become stuck in the mud, stuck in clay, stuck in concrete, where you focused only on the present? Because the present, it will be here now, and 10 seconds later it's gone. Where are you going? My favorite, as a friend of mine says, is my middle name is SWOT. And I said, yes, my middle name is SWOT analysis, only because it's a daily practice. It's part of what I do every single day. SWOT analysis on every aspect. My mind is crazy about the SWOT analysis, because I want to understand what gets me to a point. What are the strengths? What are the weaknesses? What are the opportunities and the threats to the decision I'm about to make? Is it going to affect me long term? Is it going to get me out of the challenge now? Or it's a strategy to delay a decision? Because those are the three critical components. Once we've evaluated it, it's going to fix it, short term, medium term, long term. Do I want this problem to come back and deal with it next week again? No. Why would I want to waste my time unnecessarily dealing with the same thing over and over? Fix it, change it, and move on. Let me read that quote that I quoted you very at the beginning. At the very beginning. The quote says that if we spend 55, let me find it, let me read it properly and not mess it up. Clearly, I'm an Einstein fan, because this quote I quoted you this earlier is also from Einstein. Einstein is quoted as saying that if he had 1 hour, 60 minutes to fix the world, he'd spend 55 minutes evaluating and defining the problem, working on solutions, trying to understand, what do I need to do here to save this world? What's causing the problem? And once he's been able to encapsulate that, find the best solution, is then able to take maybe 5 minutes to fix it. And that's how we need to be living. We need to be living in that space where we can get to a point where we can find all these multiple challenges, and when we get there, we're able to fix it in one go. Like Vanessa says, we're going to save the best for last.
Sometimes the snow comes down in June. Sometimes the sun goes round the moon. I see the passion in your eyes. Sometimes it's all a big surprise. 'Cause there was a time when all I did was wish you tell me this is love. It's not the way I hoped or how I planned, but somehow it's enough. And now we're standing face to face. Isn't this world a crazy place? Just when I thought our chance had passed, you go and save the best for last. All of the nights you came to me, some silly girl had set you free. You wondered how you'd make it through. I wondered what was wrong with you. 'Cause how could you give your love to someone else and share your dreams with me? Sometimes the very thing you're looking for is the one thing you can't see. But now we're standing face to face. Isn't this world a crazy place? Just when I thought a chance had passed, you go and save the best for last. Sometimes the very thing you're looking for is the one thing you can't see. Sometimes the snow comes down in June. Sometimes the sun goes round the moon. Just when I thought a chance had passed, you go and save the best for last. You went and saved the best for last. Yeah.
Hello, my name is Dr. Mark Moronga from the Hair Clinic. We know the loss of confidence and self-esteem a person can feel when they start losing their hair. The Hair Clinic at 10 St Mark's Road, Wimmera, has credentialed Auckland doctors and nurses experienced in hair loss treatments, providing real solutions for hair regrowth in both men and women. Go online to thehairclinic.co.nz and fill out our free online e-consult form or call 09 523 5999. Take that first step today and get your hair growing with the Hair Clinic.
Are you thinking about revitalizing your bathroom or kitchen? AB is the right man for the job. From design to finish, he is a New Zealand registered plumber and certified waterproofer. Contact AB New Zealand wide on 027 4747 027 or via email abee@extra.co.nz for a no obligation consultation. AB would love to hear from you.
With tailored shuttle solutions, you receive efficient and reliable transport without the hassle of booking fees and downtime via an app. Their service is affordable and even better yet, woman-owned and run. They are also the preferred transport partner for Afrikaap Radio. Contact Shani Peterson either by telephone or WhatsApp on 071 314 9133. Tailored shuttle solutions for tailor-made transport services.
Understanding that presentation is everything, Janine and her team at Exquisite Banner Walls can design for birthdays, weddings, matric farewells, and just about everything in between. Check them out on Facebook at JPECMB or their website on www.exquisitebannerwalls.co.za. Alternatively, send inquiries via WhatsApp on 083 450 1802 for their latest catalogue, designs, and pricing. Exquisite Banner Walls, designs produced to provide clients with the best possible experience. Whether you like it light and sweet, or perhaps even dark and bitter, Jude's Rhyming Coffee Grind is the perfect Java to kickstart your day. For every purchase made, they will donate 10 Rand to the Special Olympics team of the Western Cape. Follow them on social media, the Rhyming Grind Coffee Spot, or order now via WhatsApp on 076 682 8045. Jude's Rhyming Coffee Grind. Coffee for a cause.
A wise man once said, "Success is not final. Failure is not fatal. It's the courage to continue that counts." This is Walk to Wellness with Elton Davids, right here on Afrikaap Radio.
Welcome to Afrikaap Radio Online.
24/7.
All right, welcome back. We are in the dying minutes of this game, as if you want to use a sports analogy, and on our WhatsApp line on 0697145204, there's Cecilia, there's Shani, there's Kenny that we haven't seen. Well, I've not seen Kenny's name on the WhatsApp for a while. Welcome, Kenny. Amanda says she's posted 2 quotes, one from Einstein that says, "Sometimes the easiest way to solve a problem is to stop participating in the problem." Yeah, Amanda. Often we are the problem, and we facilitate the problem. We keep it going by adding fuel to that fire, whatever it may be, because we enjoy stewing in it. Sometimes it's lekker to stay there, as opposed to getting out of it and seeing the wood from the trees and understand that this is not good for me. Again, we need to understand who we are. We need to understand what we are and what we do. I have planned for next week, because based on this and my planning, to look at personal development in terms of, I'll give you a teaser. Think about your your mission and your vision as an individual, not as a corporate, not for who you work, but your mission and your vision of who you are. And it speaks exactly to this, Amanda, because sometimes we don't get out of the problem. We stay in there. Every problem has a solution. It may sometimes just take a different perspective. And often that perspective is not there because we don't like the change. So, in summary, I'm going to go one step back to go 3 steps forward. When we encounter a challenge, we need to understand the challenge. We need to unpack it. We need to realize and see the impact of this challenge and what it has on me and what the impact it will have on my life. And am I enabling or disenabling this challenge? Because often we get stuck in that space where we add fuel to the fire all the time because it's lekker there. It's lekker to be sitting stewing in that pot. You know, there's an analogy of a frog. That they put the frog in this pot of cold water on the stove, and the frog is happily having fun there until the temperature gets warmer and warmer and warmer, and eventually that frog cooks, and is cooked alive purely because the water temperature is so comfortable, and you don't notice it because gradually it's increasing until eventually, boom, it hits you. And when it hits you, it may be too late. So you need to identify the possible solutions to fix the problem. And then once you've identified, you put it in that funnel to try and decipher and find the ones that are most suited to your scenario. And then plot a course to be able to implement it. And then once you've got that course, evaluate it again to determine whether it is the right course for you and if it's the right plan for your life. Because often we plot a course based on what other people tell us and without evaluating the methods and the motives behind it. We get caught up in it. And we just, for ease of a tick box, yes, let's do it. So, my friends, change is what should excite you, as Jack Welch says. It should make us want to grow and not be stagnant. It should make us want to challenge the narrative that has the narrative for your life and my life over time. And how do we fix that? We fix that by evaluating, determining, and focusing on new goals. We do that through setting uncomfortable goals, goals that we believe are beyond our means. But we need to have a plan to get to those goals. And unless we have a plan, we plan to fail because there is no plan. So have a plan, build a plan. And next week, when we look at a mission and vision for your life, I want you to think about it over this next couple of days. What is it that excites you? What drives you to make decisions when you get a challenge? Is it the fact that you are stagnant, that you can't see the wood from the trees? Or that you are stuck because someone has told you you are worthless, you are of no value? Look in that mirror and see the beauty within you. See the blessing that you are to somebody. Whether you believe it or not, you are an inspiration to somebody. There are so many people who look up to you just by virtue of you being alive, because there are others who are less fortunate than you and aspire to what you have. So see that as your value, as your core value right at the outset. You are and have more than someone else. And because of that, people value and appreciate you and want to be like you and want to be just like you. So in closing, I'm going to say thank you for tuning in. I know that at times we kind of drifted a bit, and I do apologize for that, but it was to illustrate the point. And I'm going to close with a song by Bon Jovi. I thought I'd play a mixed bag of tricks. So we played Michael Franks, I played Ashley Simpson, I played Shania Twain, I played the Cranberries, I played Joan Osborne that Shani on the WhatsApp group says she's never heard before. Shani, it's a good old classic. And this one is a good old classic. I'm going to sign off and allow you to enjoy the song, take a few minute breather, move your furniture in anticipation of my good man Sister, who's going to knock the socks off your feet with his music selection that I think is magical, and many of us think it's magical, and it's going to get you going until 10 o'clock. So thank you for being part of a Walk to Wellness this evening. I shall see you, if all goes well, next week. Have a good week. Ciao.
As Romeo's bleeding, you can't see his blood. It's nothing but some feelings that this old dog kicked up. It's been raining since you left me. Now I'm drowning in the flood. You see, I've always been a fighter, but without you, I give up. Now I can't sing a love song like the way it's meant to be. Well, I guess I'm not that good anymore, but baby, it's just me. Yeah, I will love you, baby. Always, I'll be there forever and a day. Always, I'll be there till the stars don't shine, till the heavens burst in the world no time. I know when I die, on my mind, and I love you, baby. Now your pictures that you left behind are just memories of a different life. Something made us laugh, something made us cry. One that made you have to say goodbye. When I get to run my fingers through your hair, touch your lips to hold you near. When you say your prayers, try to understand. I've made mistakes, I'm just a man. When he holds you close, when he pulls you near, when he says the words you've been needing to hear, I wish I was him with those words of mine to say to you till the end of time. We love you, baby. Always, I'll be there forever and a day. Always, if you told me I'd cry for you.